they want to keep the sudden death rate down to about, I think, 10% and under.
Yep.
I know with Control Point, they're seeing that.
Yep.
And then I think with Payload and Hybrid, they're probably sitting closer to 20%, which they're not super happy with. But they were saying if they were going to fix it, they were going to have to delay competitive mode. So they've just released it as is to just get it out. And I think for them, this is also a way to test it and see what they can fix.
I like to be a guinea pig, and I'm actually glad they've given it to us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm having fun with it. I haven't played it heaps, because, again, it only came out, like, yesterday.
Actually, yesterday.
But so far, so good.
Yeah. Let's talk Diva.
I
love Diva. I didn't to start with. She doesn't seem like my kind of thing.
Let's go into her abilities.
Sure.
Diva has her fusion cannons as guns. They're two short-range rotating cannons. They lay down continuous, like, high damage fire
at short range.
Yep. That is the key to Diva, because you'll see people trying to shoot people at long range. It just doesn't work.
It is worth doing, I will say. If someone's nearly dead...
Well, you can get sneakier limbs doing that. It's good fun.
Well, that's the other thing. You just got to tag people for 1 damage and you're getting eliminations. And I like that.
So she does, like, a lot of damage if you're up close, and she doesn't need to reload.
That's crucial.
Which is crucial, but the caveat is she can barely move when she's shooting.
Yep.
To keep in mind. So mobility is hugely reduced.
Yep.
What is she... Nope, sorry. Nothing there.
So the way this seems to work for me in something like a Control Point, you can really just hunker down and continuously fire. And if you've got a good team drawing focus, you're just outputting so much damage in a confined area.
Yeah, for me, Diva's like... I try not to play Diva if I'm the only tank.
Yeah.
I like to have like a Reinhardt there to really pull focus, and then I kind of flank with Diva and just harass like any defense heroes like archers.
My preferred other tank is Azaya. I think a Diva and Azaya together really work well. Because Zaya like just draws a lot of attention.
She's hard to kill, I find, personally.
Especially as Diva, actually.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, these flak cannons, I don't know that they're my favorite primary weapon, but they really work for what Diva is.
Yeah. In my mind, I always try and find the Widowmakers and the Hanzos.
Yep.
I try and find the Zenyatas. I try and find the Mercies, and Lucio is difficult. Just in all aspects. He's just so quick.
Yep.
But after, we've got her first ability is boosters, so she launches into the air. She can just fly, pretty much.
And also... charge and knock people back.
Yes, which comes in very handy with maps where you can knock people off the edge.
I use this to deadly effect on the Ilios...
Lighthouse.
Yeah, the Lighthouse map, where you sit in the control point, and as the opposing team enters through their side, you can just charge, knock someone off the edge, and then I do a little cycle run where I run around the back, get the health pack, come back again, and by that point, your boost charge, which I believe is a 10-second cooldown, it might be less.
No, it's less. 5-second cooldown on the booster. It lasts for 2 full seconds, and it does 25 damage on contact.
Yep.
Which isn't heaps, but again, if you're trying to finish someone off or you want to knock them off the edge, it's all you really need.
It can't be understated, the psychological effect as well. Like, this is a giant mech, and like, if you're wounded and they just suddenly boost at you, like, it can panic a player and make you like... I find that a lot. Like, when someone's like backpedaling and retreating, if you just boost into them and never let up that pressure, like...
That's what she's for. She's like just to harass.
Yep.
She can definitely kill people, especially if you get up close, but she's just such a... it's a distraction. So if they're trying to take a point, if you can push people off the point and then keep them off the point, you're doing your job.
Yep.
And then on top of her booster, she's got a defense matrix, which pretty much stops all projectiles.
I really appreciate this move, mostly because like we in our Muffin squad usually play with a Reinhardt. When Reinhardt has to lower his shield to recharge it, defense matrix is so perfect for just kind of like picking up the slack, even for what is it, just a couple of seconds?
3 seconds with a 10-second cooldown.
Yep.
But it blocks ults.
Yes, it does.
It'll block a Reaper's Death Blossom. It'll block Farah's Death from Above, whatever it is.
Yep.
So any projectile, like any, it'll block.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure. Does it block beams? I don't think so.
I was thinking melee. I can't I feel like I've blocked Genji's ult before, but I think I could be wrong. Maybe he was just missing.
Yeah. And also, you do have a bunch of armor, so you might have just been surviving.
That's the other thing about D.Va. Most of her health is armor.
Yeah, and now, if you're not aware, armor will actually take off, I think, just off the top of my head, it'll take off 2 damage per shot.
Ah, okay.
So this is why it's really good for tracers, really good for soldiers.
Yep.
Not so good for Pharahs, who are doing big explosive damage, or Junkrats, who are doing big explosive damage. So if you're ever if you see a D.Va on the enemy team, I usually will swap to Junkrat.
Yep.
And
Junkrat's
you can put her down in
a few
4
shots.
grenades.
So she's 500 health, and I believe 400 of that is armor.
Yeah, that sounds close.
Yep. So very survivable, and coupled with defense matrix, you can really she's quite a durable tank, but not in the way that Reinhardt or Zarya are.
Now, in terms of survivability, she has the ability, when the mech is destroyed, she jumps out of the mech and becomes just the pilot with 150 health.
Yeah, and she's super quick and a tiny target.
Very squishy, but yeah, it's tiny and
very hard to hit.
Even as Reaper, I find it hard to kill her because I'm only hitting her with such a small amount of the spray.
Yep, and her pistol packs quite a punch. It's very solid. It's
14 damage, 20 in the clip. So
you can drop You can drop an assault character with 150 health if you're hitting most of the hits,
and it shoots super quickly.
Quickly.
She's shooting almost 7 rounds a second.
Yeah, it's surprisingly accurate, and there's no drop off.
There's you got to lead a little bit because the bullets don't fly so slow. So as long as you're prepared for that, it's fine. But she's actually, as long as you can stay alive, stay near your tank, stay near your healer. Yep. She can survive, and then eventually her ult as a pilot will be to call a mech in.
Yep. And this is such a fun cycle of gameplay. So you're this tank, drawing fire, actually dealing a lot of damage. And then, it's almost in the way that, medieval knights would charge you break off your lance, and then you sort of, grab another one. And that's sort of how I feel about the suits. They're these expendable things. And as the pilot, if you can survive, you can do a lot of damage. I get a lot of my kills as the pilot.
Yeah. Especially if you're with your team. If you've flanked around, you've killed a bunch, or you've died, if you can jump out and your team is near you, you can usually survive. Though I always have this weird thing where I think, is it better to just die and come back as the mech? Or
never. No. In my experience, never. Yeah. I'd rather be the pilot. Because people just don't pay as much attention to. They just go, it's just an annoyance. But if you can get behind a team and hit their squishy stuff, you drop a mercy real quick.
And now, the last ability is the mech's ult, which is self-destruct, and it is devastating if you can pull it off.
Because it's hard. It's got a huge...
It's a 4-second charge.
The countdown?
Yeah. So once you've set it, you've got 4 seconds to get away, because D.Va is susceptible to her own self-destruct.
Yep.
So as the pilot, you eject, it's about to explode, you've got to get just behind a wall. You don't need to be far away.
Yep.
You just need to be out of eyesight of the detonation.
It should be noted that a Reinhardt's shield will save you, your own team's Reinhardt will save you from it.
That's good to know.
I believe there was something else... an ice wall. A May ice wall will, obviously.
As long as you're out of the range, and even if an ice wall, I don't know the numbers, but if an ice wall can only do 200 damage before it drops, even if it breaks the ice wall, you won't get touched at all because it's blocked the full force. Every time.
And so this is really good for clearing a control point. You just drop this thing in, and coupled with your boost ability, you can launch the suit, bail out the back, and it's just going to roll in there. And even if it doesn't kill anyone, everyone's going to have to get out.
Yep. And that's a really good... If you can coordinate with your team to rush the point as you shoot that in, your team won't get hurt by it at all.
Yeah.
So they can follow the self-destruct in, you get to safety.
Yep.
And your team can hold the point while the other team has to flee or die.
And it's... Oh, sorry.
1,000 damage is killing anyone.
Yes.
No one survives that.
And this is indiscriminate. This can wipe a team.
But yeah, again, good to keep in mind, if you're Reinhardt on an enemy team, you can stand in front of it and shield your entire team.
And you'll be fine.
And they'll be fine, even if your shield goes down, which it doesn't, because you have 2,000 on the shield.
Important to note, after using self-destruct, D.Va will be given, as the pilot, a fresh ult to call in a brand new suit immediately. So you can really use this to, like... The way it seems to go is, like, you'll send the suit in to detonate, you take cover. By the time it explodes, you're back in another suit, and you can pretty much just charge back in with the boost.
Yep. As opposed to if your suit does get destroyed and you don't get a self-destruct off, you actually have to earn the suit back by damaging people with your light gun.
Which isn't as hard as it sounds.
Like, goes pretty quickly.
Yeah, it seems to...
As long as you're getting hits.
Yep.
If you can get hits, it'll go pretty quick. Now, pro tip. If you use your melee attack while you're boosting at a player and you hit them with the melee attack and the boost, you'll actually increase the damage a lot.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so that's a little pro tip there.
I'll use that. That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, that pretty much sums up D.Va.
That's it. I just wanted to highlight a few things. So,
yep, good.
So, D.Va's really great at, like, picking off a sniper. You can just, like, boost up to where she is, so your Widowmakers, your Hanzos, if you can just corner them, and they always seem to not expect it as well, like, you know, they're using their abilities to get into these out of the way locations. Quite good against Torbjorn, or at least his turrets.
Specifically because of that huge armor bank.
Yep.
Each of the turret shots are getting reduced.
Yep.
As opposed to a rocket or something coming at you.
Yeah. And I don't know, I find that she's just a survivable character. And I don't know that she's a beginner's character, but...
what is she?
Like, I mean, you know, you can do a lot with her. I guess she's pretty easy to pick up and play, but, like, to really get that loop working for you, like, using your suits up, like, just to keep a team unbalanced, like, you can really keep the pressure up.
Yeah, I find particularly at the end of a payload map, if they've got snipers locking down the final push, really good just to harass the snipers so they're not paying attention on the rest of the team. You don't even need to kill them, you just need to distract them.
That's it. And there's nothing more distracting than a giant mech suit flying at you. And I can't even describe how many times, like, that last few meters of a push, like a payload push, sending a self-destructing mech in there at the last, like, that will win you the game.
Yep.
It's because there's nowhere really to hide in that situation.
And because of that big armor bank, she's also pretty good against Soldier. Even though Soldier's so well-rounded, he's kind of good against everyone.
Yeah, Soldier's interesting.
He also is shooting a rapid-fire gun, so it's not as effective against that huge armor bank.
I find his, grenade launcher thing.
If you can be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see him shoot it, if you can make him miss, charge in. Like, get it, because it takes, I think, 6 or 7 seconds for him to get it back, and that's plenty of time to take him down.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance here. Like, even characters like Roadhog will destroy you, but I find if you're really quick and he pulls you in with his chain, you can usually get the defense matrix up in time before the shotgun blast.
Yep. I do that actually with the Reaper as well. I use my Wraith form as soon as he pulls me in, and then he gets nothing.
That's so frustrating.
But he does because you're kind of a big target, and even though Roadhog's scrap gun it is a scrap gun. Yeah, it is a scrap gun. It's got so much, like, spread, he'll pretty much hit you with it all, and it'll destroy you.
Some characters to watch out for, though, are Zenyatta.
Zenyatta mainly because he'll put a Discord orb on you, and because his orbs are doing so much damage. I think it's like 100 damage an orb.
Yeah.
It becomes 130 with the Discord orb on.
It's just the fact that you can't, because you're a big target and you draw a lot of attention, you just can't do that as well.
Yep.
And I find that really inhibiting.
Yep.
Also, Mei.
Just because you're already so immobile, so if you're more immobile...
I think I'm just really bad at fighting Mei.
One-on-one, she's really good. With most people. But it's also because of her... I don't know the name of... I don't play Mei ever. Like, it's the one character I've never played. But the ice crystals she shoots...
Yep.
they actually do a lot of damage, and again, that's really good to break through the armor that D.Va's got.
Something I'm excited about this podcast, and I've only just realized now, is this is going to force us to play these characters. You're going to have to play May when we talk about her.
Fuck. But that pretty much sums up D.Va.